Hello, my bacon lovers, and welcome to another edition of Destination Bacon. And on today's episode, we are going to be making some bacon dumplings. I've never made dumplings before, so pretty interested in seeing how this is going to turn out. I don't know why, but in my mind, for some reason, I'm thinking matzo balls. I love matzo ball soup. But anyway, let's start by frying up some bacon. The recipe calls for 2 slices, but I don't know, that just doesn't sound like enough. So I have doubled it, and we're going to be doing 4 slices of bacon. While our bacon is cooking, you're going to sift together 2 cups of flour and 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. I've got pre-sifted flour, so I'm not going to do that, but I am going to take my baking powder and I am going to just do a dash of salt, not too much. And I'm just going to whisk all of that together since this is pre-sifted flour. But let's incorporate the salt and the baking powder in there. All right, while this bacon gets crispy, and after it's done, you're going to drain it and crumble it. It is coming along rather nicely. And you're going to reserve the drippings for this recipe too, so don't get rid of it. Next, you will gently stir in some dry parsley and some freshly cracked black pepper. Let's add in 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. And then you're also going to want to add in some fresh cracked black pepper. That'll give it a nice flavor. Okay, let's gently whisk all that together. And now for our wet ingredients, our milk and our eggs. Next, you are going to beat 2 eggs into, I've got a 2-cup holder there, and you're going to beat 2 eggs in there, and then you're going to start pouring in milk until it reaches about the 1/2 cup level. Eggie number 1. Eggie number 2. All right, let's just lightly beat those. And it kind of is already at the 1/2 cup level, but we're just gonna pour a splash of milk in there. There we go. And let's mix that together, and then we're going to include this into our flour mixture for our dumpling base. Let's take our egg mixture, our egg and milk mixture, pour this into the flour. And your reserved bacon drippings. Look at that. That's really gonna add some extra bacon flavor. So let's just take a fork and blend that all together to form our dumpling dough. If this is too dry, once you have it all mixed together, you can keep adding some more milk to it. Let's just see how it goes. Then stir in your crumbled bacon. And I do believe I am going to add a little more milk to this because it is getting dry. You're going to want to take a quart of vegetable broth and get it nice and heated up, because this, my friends, is what we are going to be putting our dumplings in. So we're going to get that going. And I'm going to keep mixing my dumplings. They're just about ready. Once your vegetable broth is come to a simmer, you're going to scoop up your dough and put your dumplings in there. Once we have our veggie broth simmering, we're going to take our little dough. Make little dough balls and plop them in there. You don't want to make them too terribly big because they actually expand in this broth. I may have to do several batches. And you are going to let these little guys simmer in here for about 12 minutes or until they are done. So check back with me in about 12 minutes. This is no joke. After like 2 minutes, look how much they've puffed up and expanded. So, word of advice, depending on how large of a dumpling you would like, keep that in mind when you're forming those dough balls. About 3/4 of the way through, I just kind of rolled them over and gave them a little whoop-de-doo so they could get their sauna on all sides. I forgot to mention, you're going to want to reserve some of your bacon, and when you dice it up, just reserve a little bit for garnish on top of the dumplings when they're done, as well as cut up some fresh parsley. It's been over 12 minutes. I'm thinking these guys are done. So let's turn the flame off, and we're going to carefully scoop some of our dumplings. I've seen this dish made like as a soup, as a stew. I think what we'll do is also put this in the broth as well. I've scooped some broth in there. Let's top it with some more delicious bacon, of course, and some fresh parsley. There you have it, bacon dumplings. Now for the taste test. Yummy, and smells so good, our bacon dumplings. Okay, we're gonna do our taste test now. And I did add the broth in here. Get a little bit of everything. Oh, it's nice and doughy on the inside. Wow. So I was thinking this was going to be super dense, and it's quite light and fluffy, surprisingly. Okay, so the dumpling, again, it's got a good texture to it. It's not super doughy. It's really quite light and airy in the middle. I'm glad I added we'll call it au jus, the broth to it. It actually does make a really good soup. The bacon obviously makes it smoky and savory, and I like adding the parsley on there. That's a nice kind of fresh flavor to it. I think if I made it again, I would probably add some more spices to this. So maybe a pinch more, maybe I'd add some garlic powder, maybe just some more pepper to give it a little more of a kick. It's very good, but it is quite mild. So if you're looking for something that's going to pack a punch, you're going to want to add either some heat to it, or you're going to just want to add some more seasonings, maybe some onion powder, garlic powder, more pepper, maybe a dash more salt. It's actually, you don't really need too much more salt because the bacon is salty. Anyways, if you try this recipe, or perhaps you have an old family recipe for these bacon dumplings, particularly if you're German, please comment below. Or if you make this recipe, let me know how you liked it. Let me know how you altered the recipe. And I will see you next time on Destination Bacon. Bye.